God's plan for your heart, the identity of your promised person. My beloved child, before you rush past this moment, slow your breath and listen carefully. What you are about to hear is not random, and it is not accidental. There is a reason your heart has been asking questions it cannot fully explain. A reason you feel drawn towards something deeper than surface attraction, deeper than temporary comfort. Somewhere inside you, there is a quiet knowing that the person meant for your heart is not just anyone who arrives, but someone who fits you in a way that feels intentional. Not loud. Not forced. But aligned. And here is the truth most people never realize: the identity of your promised person is not revealed by their face, their status, or their words. It is revealed by how your heart becomes clearer, calmer, and stronger in their presence. This is where most people miss it. They look for sparks, drama, or intensity, while the real sign is something far more rare. Something steady. Something grounding. Something that does not confuse your spirit. Don't skip, because the moment you understand this, your entire definition of love begins to shift. Here is the first revelation, and it may surprise you. The person meant for your heart is not sent to complete you, they are sent to confirm who you already are becoming. That is why timing matters so much. If they came too early, you would cling instead of choose. If they came too late, you would have already built walls too thick to open. Your promised person carries an identity that mirrors growth, not dependency. They do not compete with your purpose. They do not rush your healing. They do not pressure your becoming. Instead, they recognize it. Quietly. Naturally. Their presence does not pull you away from yourself, it draws you deeper into clarity. This is how you know. When conversations with them feel honest instead of exhausting. When silence feels safe instead of awkward. When your heart does not feel the need to perform, impress, or shrink. Most connections are loud and empty. This one is subtle and full. Something huge is waiting for you in this understanding, because once you see it, you stop chasing what looks good and start recognizing what feels right. Now listen closely, because this part is rarely spoken out loud. Your promised person is identified less by what they give you, and more by what they awaken within you. Discipline instead of distraction. Peace instead of chaos. Courage instead of fear. Their identity is not wrapped in perfection, it is wrapped in alignment. They challenge you without breaking you. They support you without controlling you. They see your flaws, yet speak to your potential. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime truth. When this person enters your life, things do not suddenly become easier, they become clearer. You begin to outgrow old patterns. Old attachments lose their grip. Your standards rise without effort. That is not coincidence. That is recognition at a soul level. Stay till the end of this journey, because as this unfolds, you will begin to notice signs you once ignored. And you will finally understand why certain connections had to end, why certain doors had to close, and why your heart was protected until now. There is a moment in every deep connection where the heart recognizes truth before the mind can explain it. This is that moment. What most people never understand is that the person meant for your heart does not arrive to distract you from life, they arrive to sharpen it. Their identity is revealed not through promises, but through patterns. Watch closely and you'll notice something rare: your focus improves instead of fractures, your energy steadies instead of spikes, and your intuition becomes louder instead of confused. This is not excitement that fades after novelty wears off. This is alignment that grows stronger with time. And here is the shocking part: if someone constantly pulls you into emotional highs and lows, that intensity is not depth. It is noise. Your promised person does not bring chaos disguised as passion. They bring clarity disguised as simplicity. Don't skip this realization, because once you see the difference, you will never mislabel emotional turbulence as love again. Now listen carefully, because this is where everything changes. Your promised person carries an identity that feels unfamiliar at first, because it does not trigger your old wounds. Many people walk away from the right connection simply because it feels too calm. They mistake peace for boredom and consistency for lack of spark. But the truth is, your heart has been conditioned by struggle. It learned to recognize love through anxiety, uncertainty, and overthinking. The promised connection feels different because it does not demand survival mode. It invites presence. It invites growth. You don't feel the need to chase, test, or prove yourself. Instead, you feel seen without explanation. Challenged without judgment. Supported without strings attached. And here's the once-in-a-lifetime revelation most never hear: when this person enters your life, you don't lose yourself in them, you finally stop losing yourself everywhere else. Old habits start falling away. Old attachments feel heavy instead of familiar. Your standards rise quietly, without effort. Something huge is waiting for you in this awareness, because it explains why nothing before this could last. And before you go any further, pause for a second. If these words are resonating, it's because your heart already recognizes the pattern. Share this with someone who's been questioning their own journey, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next, and leave a comment if you've ever felt this kind of quiet knowing without having the words for it. Now here's the final truth for this moment: your promised person does not rush your timeline. They respect it. They do not compete with your purpose, they protect it. Their presence feels like confirmation, not confusion. Like direction, not distraction. And as this unfolds, you'll realize something powerful: everything that didn't work before was not rejection, it was redirection. Stay till the end of this journey, because what comes next will help you recognize the signs before the moment passes, and when you finally see them clearly, you will understand why your heart was guarded for so long. There is a quiet test that reveals everything, and almost no one talks about it. When the right person is near, your nervous system settles. You stop rehearsing conversations in your head. You stop questioning where you stand. Your heart no longer feels like it's standing on unstable ground. This is not coincidence. This is recognition. The identity of your promised person is revealed through emotional safety, not emotional chase. They don't make you guess your worth. They don't make you overthink their intentions. And here's the shocking truth most people aren't ready to hear: if someone keeps you in constant uncertainty, that uncertainty is the message. Your promised person does not hide clarity behind mystery. They do not test your patience to feel powerful. They do not withdraw to gain control. Their consistency is not boring, it is rare. And once you experience it, your heart begins to reject anything that feels like emotional Hunger Games. Don't skip this understanding, because it explains why some connections felt intense but drained you, while this one feels steady and strengthens you. Now let this sink in deeply. Your promised person will not always agree with you, but they will always be aligned with your growth. They speak truth without cruelty. They challenge you without trying to dominate you. Their identity is rooted in emotional maturity, not emotional performance. You will notice that arguments don't feel like threats, and disagreements don't feel like abandonment. There is repair instead of punishment. Communication instead of silence. Accountability instead of blame. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime realization that changes how you see everything: this person does not activate your fear of loss, they activate your confidence in stability. You don't feel the urge to compete, compare, or prove yourself. You don't feel smaller around them. You feel expanded. Focused. Grounded. Something huge is waiting for you in this realization, because once you experience love without fear, you can never go back to love built on anxiety. This is why the wrong connections fall apart the moment you start healing. They were never meant to survive your growth. And here is the final layer most people completely overlook. Your promised person is not just connected to your heart, they are aligned with your future self. Being with them makes your long-term vision clearer, not cloudier. You begin to think differently about time, commitment, discipline, and purpose. You stop romanticizing chaos and start valuing peace. You stop chasing intensity and start choosing depth. Their presence encourages you to become more intentional with your life, not distracted from it. This is not magic. This is maturity meeting readiness. And the truth is powerful. If someone pulls you away from who you are becoming, they are not aligned with your heart's direction. Stay till the end of this journey, because the next understanding will show you how to recognize the signs early, before attachment blinds you, before history repeats itself, and before you settle for a connection that was never meant to hold the weight of your future. If you are still here, it's because something inside you knows this isn't just another story. This is a mirror. And here's the truth most people never hear until it's too late: the final confirmation of your promised person does not come through emotion, it comes through direction. When they are present, your life does not feel paused. It moves forward. Your goals feel closer. Your discipline feels easier. Your vision sharpens instead of scattering. That's not chemistry. That's alignment. Shocking, right? Because you were taught that love should consume you. But real alignment doesn't consume your life. It organizes it. Don't skip this, because once you understand this principle, you stop mistaking emotional attachment for destiny. The right person does not pull you off your path to walk beside them. They naturally end up walking in the same direction. Now here is the part that separates illusion from truth, so listen carefully. Your promised person will never require you to abandon your values to keep them. You don't shrink your standards. You don't silence your intuition. You don't negotiate your self-respect. Instead, you become more honest, more grounded, more yourself. And here's the once-in-a-lifetime revelation: when this person enters your life, your fear of losing them is replaced by confidence in choosing them. You're no longer acting from desperation or urgency. You're acting from clarity. That's why this connection feels different from everything before it. There is no emotional bargaining. No power games. No confusion disguised as mystery. Just mutual effort, mutual respect, and mutual growth. If this message is hitting something deep, share it with someone who's been questioning love the same way, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next, and leave a comment if you've ever felt torn between intensity and peace. Stay till the end of this understanding, because what you're realizing right now explains your entire past. And here is the final truth that brings everything together. Your promised person is revealed when you stop asking, "Do they choose me?" and start noticing, "Who do I become with them?" If you become calmer, stronger, more disciplined, more focused, that is your answer. Love was never meant to feel like a battle you keep surviving. It was meant to feel like a foundation you keep building on. This is why certain connections had to leave. They were chapters, not the story. They taught you contrast, not completion. Something huge is waiting for you beyond this moment, because once you recognize alignment, you cannot unsee it. And when the right person stands in front of you, you won't need signs, tests, or reassurance. Your heart will be steady. Your mind will be clear. Your direction will feel right. That's how you'll know. What you are sensing right now is not curiosity, it is recognition forming. And here is the detail almost everyone misses at the final stage. When the right person aligns with your heart, your decisions stop feeling heavy. You don't spiral over small things. You don't fear speaking honestly. You don't feel the urge to over-explain your boundaries. Instead, your inner world becomes quieter. More decisive. More confident. This is because your promised person does not create emotional fog, they remove it. Being around them feels like your mind finally has room to breathe. And this is the shocking truth. If someone makes you feel anxious about being yourself, that anxiety is not love testing you, it is your intuition warning you. The right connection does not require constant reassurance to survive. It is self-sustaining. Don't skip this, because once you understand this pattern, you stop mistaking emotional attachment for emotional truth. Now let's go deeper, because this part changes everything. Your promised person will not awaken desperation, they awaken discernment. You start choosing better for yourself without force. You stop chasing validation. You stop needing to be enough because you finally feel recognized. And here's the once-in-a-lifetime realization most people only understand after years of heartbreak: the right connection doesn't add drama to your life, it subtracts confusion. You don't feel pulled in 10 directions. You feel centered. Your energy becomes selective. Your standards become non-negotiable. You don't fear being alone, because you no longer confuse loneliness with peace. This is why some people feel uncomfortable around alignment. It exposes how much chaos they normalized. Something huge is waiting for you in this awareness, because once clarity becomes familiar, anything unclear starts to feel wrong. Stay till the end of this understanding, because what comes next ties every lesson together. And here is the final layer you were meant to hear. Your promised person is revealed when love stops feeling like a question and starts feeling like a decision you can stand on. Not because it's perfect, but because it's honest, stable, and real. You don't need to monitor their behavior for signs. You don't feel like you're walking on emotional glass. You feel respected even in disagreement. Valued even in silence. Chosen even when things are calm. That is the identity you were waiting for. Not someone who excites your wounds, but someone who honors your growth. And when this kind of connection enters your life, you won't chase it, you'll recognize it. Quietly. Confidently. Without fear. Because your heart will finally feel like it's home, not fighting to belong. There comes a final shift, and it's subtle, so most people miss it. It's the moment when your heart stops scanning the horizon for, what if, and starts settling into, this is enough. The identity of your promised person becomes undeniable when urgency disappears. You're no longer rushing conversations, timelines, or outcomes. You're present. Grounded. Certain. This is not emotional laziness, this is emotional security. And here is the shocking truth that rewrites everything you were taught. Real connection does not feel like it's slipping through your fingers. It feels like it's standing still long enough for you to breathe. When someone is right for your heart, you don't fear silence. You don't fear space. You don't fear honesty. Because nothing about the connection feels fragile. Don't skip this realization, because once you understand it, you'll stop chasing reassurance and start recognizing stability for what it truly is. Now pay close attention, because this is the quiet confirmation most people only understand in hindsight. Your promised person does not make you abandon your individuality to feel close. In fact, you become more yourself with them, not less. Your routines stay intact. Your discipline strengthens. Your self-respect becomes visible. You don't disappear into the connection, you show up more fully in life. And here's the once-in-a-lifetime truth hidden inside this pattern. Love that is meant for you does not isolate you from your purpose, it integrates with it. You don't feel torn between growth and connection. They exist side by side. This is why the right person feels almost unfamiliar at first. There is no emotional roller coaster to decode. No tension to solve. No fear to outrun. Just steady presence. Something huge is waiting for you in this understanding, because when peace becomes your baseline, chaos no longer feels exciting, it feels exhausting. And here is where everything finally locks into place. Your promised person is revealed when your heart no longer asks for signs, because your life itself becomes the sign. Your days feel clearer. Your choices feel cleaner. Your future feels less foggy. You stop romanticizing what hurt you and start protecting what grows you. This is the final truth: love was never meant to be dramatic to be meaningful. It was meant to be strong enough to hold you steady while you build the life you were always meant to live. When that person stands in front of you, you won't feel the need to rush, test, or doubt. You'll simply know how to stay. And that knowing won't shout. It will settle. Quietly. Firmly. Like something that was always meant to be there. There is a quiet courage that appears when the truth finally settles in your chest. It's the moment you stop asking whether love will stay. And start trusting yourself to recognize it when it does. This is where the journey becomes real. Because the identity of your promised person is not revealed through dramatic moments, it is revealed through consistency over time. Days that don't collapse under pressure. Conversations that don't turn into confusion. Progress that doesn't require emotional sacrifice. Here is the shocking realization most people never reach. When the connection is right, your life doesn't shrink to make space for love, love expands to support your life. Your ambitions don't feel threatened. Your discipline doesn't feel interrupted. Your growth doesn't feel negotiable. Don't skip this understanding, because once you feel this kind of alignment, you'll instantly know why nothing before it could ever satisfy your heart. Now listen carefully, because this is the line that separates waiting from settling. Your promised person will not rush you to decide, but they will make clarity unavoidable. You won't feel pressured to define things out of fear. You won't feel the need to lock things down to feel secure. Instead, commitment feels natural, like a step forward, not a safety net. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime truth hidden inside this: when someone is aligned with your heart, you don't fear losing them, because you're no longer abandoning yourself to keep them. Your self-respect stays intact. Your boundaries stay firm. Your voice stays steady. You're not holding your breath anymore. You're standing in your truth. Something huge is waiting for you in this realization, because it explains why the wrong connections always felt urgent. Urgency was never passion, it was insecurity wearing a mask. And here is the final confirmation your heart has been preparing for. Your promised person is revealed when love stops feeling like something you have to protect, and starts feeling like something that protects you. You don't brace yourself for disappointment. You don't prepare for emotional impact. You feel supported even when life is demanding. You feel understood even when words are few. You feel chosen without performance. That is the identity you were meant to recognize. Not someone who excites your fears, but someone who steadies your future. Stay till the end of this truth, because when this kind of connection arrives, it won't feel loud or dramatic, it will feel right. And once your heart experiences that level of peace, it will never again settle for anything that asks you to be smaller, quieter, or unsure of who you are becoming.